wanted to say hi with me. So today's video, I have all 3 kids here with me. This is another one down here. She's my shy one. And Ren, you'll hear she's in her jumper right there while we film this. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about baby-led weaning versus traditional weaning. I've gotten a lot of questions because with my first child, we did traditional weaning, and with my second, we did baby-led weaning. And the third time now, we're doing baby-led weaning again. And so I've kind of gotten questions about the differences between them now that they're older, my 2 older girls, and just to talk a little bit about what baby-led weaning is. So before we get into that though, today's video is sponsored by Raised Real. They're actually a meal delivery service for your little ones. They come straight to your door on dry ice, which I have to say as a homeschool family is a lot of fun because we had instant science experiments that day. So Raised Real is full of organic and sustainably sourced ingredients. They are free of all the known allergens. They have a few options when it comes to how often you get it and how many. And they are plant-based, which is, as you know, for us as a vegan family, very important. Now, what I love about this in particular, as a baby-led weaning family, we typically always feed our kids whatever we are eating. But what I really like is that sometimes when we're going over to people's houses, we don't know exactly what they're going to have. And there are some stipulations with how the food is cooked, with what our kids can eat, like the amount of salt, the consistency of it. There are certain things that they just can't have, which we'll get into that in a little bit. Or maybe you have a child that has allergies, and so it's a little bit harder to cook for them unless you're also restricting yourself. And so something like this is really easy. So these are super easy to reheat. Like I said, you keep them in your freezer. When you're ready, take the one out that you want. You can go ahead and put it in a pan with 3 tablespoons of water just to heat it back up and feed it to your child once it's the right temperature. Or you can even put it in the microwave as well, so whatever you'd prefer. So the one that you saw Ren eating is this one right here, and that is the beet, sweet potato, date, cinnamon, and coconut butter. When it comes to serving this to your kids though, with baby-led weaning, obviously we serve it as is, but if you are traditionally weaning, you can go ahead and just throw it in a blender and you can get a puree to the consistency you want, or you can mash it up if your traditionally weaned child is at a higher level in terms of the thickness of the food and the chunkiness, right? So I'm gonna have a link, of course, down below for you guys to Raised Real so you can check it out for your own kids. Organically and sustainably sourced, free of all of the known allergens, and of course, one of the most important things, a fully balanced meal for your kids as well. So let's now get into baby-led weaning versus traditionally weaning your kids. So these are my 2 baby-led weaning kids. This one who's just started, and this one who is now 3 years old, Arianna. My oldest, Revelyn, we did a more traditional weaning route. Now I kind of transitioned her much quicker than traditional weaning would to table food, but we started with her with purees, mostly like the organic pouches. You know, I don't need to go into a lot of detail on how to do traditional weaning because most of you guys already know how to do that. But with baby-led weaning, you basically feed your kids exactly what you're eating. Now there of course are a few rules with that for safety. You don't give your kids any whole nuts, any popcorn. If you're giving them like things like carrots, broccoli, it should be steamed so that it's easily dissolves or falls apart in their mouth. Of course, you also want to be careful of sodium intake as well, but otherwise, you pretty much just put in front of them whatever you're eating. Avocado, spaghetti, noodles, just make sure that it's cut up. You first begin, you want to start with like thicker, longer pieces that they can grab onto and like chew and get the pieces off themselves. And then as they get the chewing figured out, as little pieces break off, then you can give them smaller pieces. Now, there are a few signs of readiness with kids. For instance, they should be sitting up unassisted. They should be developing a pincher grasp, but it doesn't need to be perfect yet. Rensley honestly doesn't have that great of a pincher grasp, and I just use my own mom instincts to know she's totally ready. She's not the greatest at it, but she has no issues getting it into her mouth. She's developing it, and that's what's important, is that as long as they're not even attempting, talk with your own pediatrician if you're concerned, use your mom instincts, but she has been a champ at it, right? So let's talk about gagging. She actually didn't gag for the first time until this past weekend, and she has been on solids for a few weeks now. So a lot of people are always worried, like, what about choking? What about that? So in most cases, I mean, with 2 of my kids, I've never had a choking incident. It can happen even with kids that are doing purees. So it's important to remember though that a child's gag reflex is only about halfway back in their mouth. So when they're gagging, it's not actually anywhere near the back of their throat where they'd actually choke. And when a child is choking, they will be silent. They will turn blue. They will not make any noise. If your kid is coughing or gagging, they're not choking. It's not near the back of their throat. It's just halfway there. And you don't put your fingers in their mouth. Don't touch them, just let them figure it out. The only time you would pick them up in help is if they're actually choking. When it's gagging, it can sort of be a little bit scary or nerve-wracking, I guess, but really you just gotta trust the science behind a child's gag reflex and where it's placed and why it's placed there, and that is so they can learn properly to chew before they bring it all the way to the back of their mouth. Kids, they catch on super fast. Like I said, Ren, every kid is different, but Rensley, this one right here, she ate at her very first meal and actually ate food. Some kids can take a month or two before they actually swallow anything. Obviously, before one, food is just something that they're supposed to be learning about, getting interested in, and just exploring. It's not their main sustenance. That's still breastfeeding or formula for kids. So don't worry too much about how much they're getting. So now on to the difference between my two kids. So right now, Airly, come here, honey, is running around crazily. She's going through a picky stage right now. No matter how you feed your kids, they go through picky stages. And if you guys are curious about like how we handle those kinds of things, I have an Instagram called Kid Approved Vegan that you guys can check out. I actually talk about things like that over there and show what we're eating as a family. So every kid goes through their picky stages, but overall, Airly has always been the better eater. She will eat tomatoes like nobody's business. She's always tried things easier. Now, Miss Revy right here, she has made huge strides in the last couple months. I always like to that she does have some sensory issues, so oral aversions can kind of play a part in that, but that's been the least of like her sensory stuff. But in the last couple months in particular, she has actually become the better eater. However, the stage that Aries at right now, Revelyn went through that stage at the same age. So it's also just an age thing and they go through this process of stuff. In my opinion, baby-led weaning is easier, and if you want a kid that's less picky, that's the quickest way to get one. But it's not like an end-all be-all. If you do traditional, it doesn't mean that you're gonna end up with a super picky kid. And if you do baby-led weaning, it doesn't mean that you're gonna end up with a kid that eats everything. Although Revelyn took a lot longer to get there, she is now at a place where she tries everything, right? And she likes a lot of things that she didn't before, like tomatoes. She discovered she likes the inside of tomatoes. She doesn't like the outside of tomatoes, but you like the inside of them, right? Yep. Yes, I know. So baby-led weaning, I still feel, is the better option when it comes to seeing all the kids that I've seen do purees versus baby-led weaning. The baby-led weaning kids do eat a lot more quicker. And so that's why I would say, like, yes, I am gung-ho, 100% in support of skipping traditional weaning and doing baby-led weaning. But as you can see with Revelyn, I still don't think that traditional weaning in any sense of the means is like going to end you with a super picky kid. I think that a lot of that has to do with, as they're in their toddler years, how you handle when they are refusing a meal, not so much the way that they were weaned. So Airly, for instance, from the very beginning, she was eating tons of vegetables, tons of different fruits. She would try everything. Where Revelyn, it wasn't really until these last couple months that she has full on started to try everything. There's a lot of things she'll eat that Airy won't. And Airy, I'm assuming when she turns 4, she'll go back to that stage as well, because it's just, you know, they go through this little cycle of, I'm gonna put my foot down about stuff and then I'm fine and I'll eat everything, and then I'm gonna put my foot down again about stuff. So a lot of it also just plays a part in development and the stage that they're currently at in age, and not so much, again, how you weaned them. So like I've already said, Airly has shown to be our less picky child over and over and over again. But in the end, now that Revelyn is over 4 years old, she has started to let go a lot of that pickiness and try a lot more, and just be more adventurous with her food, right? Yeah? What's your favorite food?
Veggie nuggets.
Veggie nuggets? That's a good one. Airy Bear, what's your favorite food?
Peanut butter jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly? You look like the more picky kid now.
No, yeah, you do.
What's your favorite vegetable?
Lettuce.
Lettuce? Oh, that's a good one. She really likes tomatoes too. Revelyn, what's your favorite vegetable?
Snap peas.
Snap peas. What's your favorite fruit?
Rice.
What's your favorite fruit, Airy? Snack peas? Snack peas are vegetables. What about fruit? Like strawberries, watermelon, pineapple, cantaloupe?
Cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe? That's a good one. That's a really good one. What's your favorite protein? Do you like lentils?
Lentils.
She loves lentil chili. Like loves it. She asks for it all the time. Do you like tofu?
Yeah.
Do you like tempeh?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I don't like the tempeh.
Oh, you don't like tempeh? Do you like tempeh?
I like tempeh.
Do you like tofu?
Yeah.
Do you like beans?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
That's one thing they're not.
No.
They eat them with chili, but alone, not so much. All right, we are going to end this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it and got some good, you beat a baby. I hope you guys enjoyed it and got some good insights though on baby-led weaning versus traditional weaning, kind of what to look forward to in the future, whether you did one or the other. And make sure you guys go check out Raise Real again in the description box, and we will see your wonderful faces next week, which I think next week is going to be their room reveal. We're gonna show them your new room that you guys are sharing. All right, we will see all of your wonderful faces next week. Bye guys.